Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Live Market Analysis ASX Edition. My name is Carl Capolingua. I'm the market analyst over here at Think Markets Australia, and it's a pleasure to join you as we delve into the depths of your portfolio. Obviously, we're going to keep the winners, we're going to turf out the losers, and find a bunch of great new trading and investing opportunities for you. The agenda for today is very, very simple. It's Ask Me Anything, your questions, your portfolio really, versus my technical and fundamental analysis. It really is that simple. If you're watching me on any of the streaming services, there should be a chat window somewhere there. You can type in your requests. And of course, if you're listening to me within the Zoom session, it's much easier to do. There's a Q&A window and a chat window that Nick Coulson from Think Markets is manning as well. Let us head first and foremost to the AMI broker screen. This is not the one we're going to talk about today. I can assure you, 14 degrees. No idea what it does. Not the point of this. It just happens to be the first one on screen because I reckon it's the first one alphabetically in my AMI broker list. Let's head to a couple of requests actually coming through on Twitter. I'd like to get these out of the way first. LXU coming up. This one is for French NZ, and it might be IXU, or maybe it is IXU. I mean, I can't tell. And I'm going to do this so quickly because I have done this in the past when I've got, to be fair, a bit of a dud request from the audience. And all I've got is literally 3 lowercase letters. So without copying and pasting it into a Word document and altering it some other way, I can only assume it's this. Look, it looks half decent. That's the thing. And probably what French NZ was looking at themselves when they sent it through. Short-term uptrend turning around. Long-term uptrend, well, we're not 100% sure. It appears from the past, certainly, to be offering that dynamic resistance. We can see probably, it's a little bit tentative there, scrolling over to the left-hand side, because you know what I want to say. I want to say that my my 144 and 233 moving average ribbon, I want to say that it's perfect. And you can see it was pretty darn perfect. And you might say, hey, Carl, no, it's not, because look, the price went below it and then all hell broke loose. And I said, that's the whole point of this. When the price breaks below it, you know something's not right. On this day here, let me highlight it. What you did is you read the news, and the news had something on IXU. And on this day, and it said, look, don't worry, it's fine. And then this day here, you watched something in the media where a couple of experts got up there and debated. No, it's still great value. It's great value. Bang the desk, great value. Investing, it's cheap now. So you held on. And then here, I don't know, you read the company's report that all things are still, we're still hanging in there, everybody. The aspirations are still there for the next 12 months. And you held on, and you held on, and you held on. And there is so much noise out there, ladies and gentlemen. You need to tune down the noise and stop doing what you hear and just focus on what you see. And what you can see here, ladies and gentlemen, it's so simple. Economics 101, let's call it, this is the technical term here, let's call it what should we call this? Load of supply. And on this side of the market, we had, what should we call this? Bubcus demand. And why does that occur? Is it because over here there was great value, or over here there was a media report, over here there was something the company said? No, it's because cut through all the noise. It's what people are doing. Anyway, the long-term trend down. The point of this is what's happening here. And what's happening here is we're trying to deal with the supply that's in the market, forcing prices lower. How are we dealing with it? We're dealing with some demand that's coming back in. Why is the demand coming back in? Hey, I don't know. And honestly, I couldn't care less. But it's probably, I'm going to put to you, it's probably coming back in because maybe the company is actually turning the corner finally. And that's causing an easing in, remember the technical term for this. And I want you to start using this technical term because this is very important that we use the right jargon when we talk about technical analysis. So we're seeing an easing in the the significant supply in the market, and easing. Now, there was a lot of supply, there's less of it. Why people are deciding not to sell? Why are they deciding not to sell? Maybe the stocks don't sell so bad. And we're seeing sort of an easing in the bubcus. I don't know if that's the right word. We're seeing a return of the demand, some speculative spec buying, whatever it is. technical momentum. Who knows? Who cares? Honestly, stop caring about stuff, ladies and gentlemen. I think you care about things too much. You know what? Care about your families. You love them. I don't know. Maybe care about your job if that makes you happy. Care about golf or whatever it is. I don't know. That's a bad example. But please stop caring about why stocks go up and down. That is the worst thing, in my experience, you can do if you want to make good money in the market. Okay, so the good news is we're getting above. There's so much demand coming in, and there's so much easing in that technical term of supply that we're actually starting to make progress here. Okay, some people say, "Hey, Carl, look, this was the place to buy. Clearly, 2.5 cents. That was you can't buy it. It's doubled in price." I say, I don't care if it's doubled in price. I don't care if it's quadrupled or tripled or it's up 10 times, because I don't keep score by price. If I kept score by price, I would look at this and I say, I can't buy it now. It's gone up too much. But I don't keep score by price. That's not how I keep score. I keep score by what's happening, what I see, and just doing what I see. Okay, and if it goes wrong, and it might go wrong, and it probably will go wrong, who cares? I get out and I go out and find another trade. I think the candles here look really, really good. I like the white candles. Hey, it's sketchy. Don't get me wrong. Super, super sketchy, because these aren't the candles we're used to seeing. In fact, look at these ones in here. Blip, 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 blip. I know I'm talking too long about IXU. I know none of you care about IXU. I know if you're watching on the YouTube video after the fact, you've already tuned out. Because, this guy's talking about IXU is boring. But we're going to see lots of these. So I don't have to explain to you that when you see these blips, that's typically not a good sign. That's enough of a reason for me not to buy it straight there. But hey, if this is the one you love, okay, for whatever reason, and we know we love crazy things in life, and a lot of people love stocks for some reason, then I actually would hold on to it. I think it's fine. Would I buy it here? Look, let's see. Let's reserve our decision on. Obviously, if you've got it, hold it. That's clear. It's not a sell because the candles are white. The price action's moving back to high peaks and high troughs. The trends are changing, right? But if you don't have it, is this going to be the best thing you can do with your money right now? I'm not so sure. And let us reserve that decision for a little bit later on. And the second one today was SGF, which is a great ditto, isn't it? It's such a great ditto. And, I think there's a number of really interesting things about the chart. We can see how the trends are trying to change, but trying's not good enough for us. We want uptrends, all right, typically, or at least where we're holding strongly. We're holding strongly above this zone. Because if you've watched me for any length of time, I cannot draw enough arrows as to how important it is to get above this zone. Why that zone? Who knows? Who cares? Stop caring about that stuff. It just is. And that's all that matters. If you had it, I could see a path to holding this for all the reasons we talked about in the last one, because it's not completely bloody awful, but it's not completely bloody great either. So let us not spend any more time on this and continue to move. I want to get through all the exciting stuff today. We're going to do a lithium sector review. We'll do a copper sector review. We'll do uranium sector review. Energy starting to look good. Let's do an energy sector review as well sometime during the presentation, but let us do a few requests before we do that. Let's head over to John. John's got Cleanaway, which is a company which is starting to get my attention, John. I think I did put it in my shortlist, correct me if I'm wrong, not that long ago. Maybe that's what helped it catch your attention. And I kept it out of the shortlist for a long time. Because you can see here how it's starting to do the stuff that I've talked about so far at the dark. It's orange. It went orange, isn't it? I was going to say dark pink, but it went orange. And that's the point of the zone. It changes colors. It's a traffic light system. It went from dark pink, don't buy it, to orange. If everything else is good, the price action, the candles, the volume even, you can consider it. And that's the thing about the long-term trend zone. It doesn't mean amber is bad. It means amber is you can consider it. And we are holding now above it. So it's doing all the stuff that I like. But I did keep it out, John, for the reason that I just wasn't sure about this, and I wasn't sure about this. But then we started to close above this, and I think I put it in, what's today, Tuesday? I might have put it in on Friday, so I don't think I did a shortlist yesterday. Look, I think it's I think it's a little bit better than half decent. But we know, John, obviously, with the big POS up here, and if you're not sure what POS stands for, it means point of supply. If you don't know what point of supply means, obviously you know what supply is. It's selling shares. It's people who own shares saying, I don't want to own these shares anymore. I want my cash back. I want my money back. I'm fighting with somebody on eBay right now to get my money back on a particular item, right? I want my money back. Why? Because the item's a piece of junk, okay? At this point in time, was there supply? We'll look at the chart. Clearly, lots of supply coming in, lower peaks, lots of black candles. Look at the black candles on this, John, through here. So it's people saying, I want my money back. This thing's a piece of junk. Why is it a piece of junk? I don't know. I don't care. Now, on the other side, there wasn't a lot of cash to soak that up. So we know it's a point of supply, and we know, but that's historical. What I find though, John, is that point of supply, right, in the past tend to behave question mark as bosses in the future. Okay, and it's because of something called ex post regret. There are a bunch of people who bought in here. How do I know they bought in here? Look at this. They were starting to demand because it was just as looking probably as feeble as it is now, John. And then it started to go down and they regretted that decision. And finally, they're getting back to break even. So some of them, not all of them, but some of them will supply there. And I don't know if any of them honestly will supply there, but I think some of them will. And that's why I treat these areas with a little bit of caution. And I need to get what is called reward to risk. So I know this is starting to look good now, I get it. But if I'm going to get in around this zone here, right, and I look down, where am I going to set my stop loss? Well, there's a point where there's been supply in the past, we should get demand. So this is a point of demand. And maybe even down here, I might want to set my stop here. At the closest I could set it here. And then I've got a problem because when I look up, I'm just a bit ho-hum through here, right? In terms of my rewards to my risk. If there is supply, then I don't know if there will, and it all starts to come down. Hey, there might not be supply, that might keep going. You say, hey, Carl, you should have got in anyway. And I say, well, maybe. I don't know. I can't see the future. I don't know for certain there's going to be supply there, but I know that the market will tend to give me some there. So I better be a bit cautious. If you've got it, happy to hold it. If you don't have it, you can see why I'm not rushing out to buy it right now. Now, this one is something I may well consider buying. And certainly we've talked about it many, many times in these sessions. Where is it? It's the one that you always ask me about, and I can never find because alphabetically, Amy Broker's got issues. Look at this. Look at this. Plus 1/3. So we've talked about buying this a few times. You can see, I put my little 1/3 on there, and I'll leave them on there, and I don't change them. Don't worry. I don't come back and put them on after the fact. I promise you. And this is where we said if it gets beneath this level, then we'd go minus 1/3, and you'd still have 2/3 remaining. So I don't think we've actually had a sell. A clear-cut sell. In fact, looking at the candles, you know what I know, and you know what I think. Since those 1/3, we really haven't had. I mean, these two are frightening, but I don't think there's enough in it just there because we're not making lower points of supply, are we? To warrant an exit, and then boom. I mean, here's your buy, and I won't put the 1/3 in, but that is your ding, 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 run out and buy it. Still, I think pretty close to the light green zone there. And then you can see how it comes back. And then, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you can see the ding, 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 right there. And I'm pretty sure on that day I put it on Ausbiz, or maybe it was this day here. And I said, hey, everybody, this is my top pick for the day. And happy days. Happy days are here because what a wonderful candle. What a wonderful candle. And what an amazing candle today. But don't forget, today's candle is still going. Anything can happen. And right now it's looking pretty good. What I love about today is the gap. You know I love gap ups. Okay, I read in a technical analysis book, the gaps aren't good. They have to be filled. Stop reading technical analysis books, everybody, please. They don't have to be filled. And all they mean is there's a huge whack of demand and so little supply in the open. And that's what you need to focus on when it comes to gaps, not all the other stuff. And we actually did fill the gap, to be fair. And then up we went from there in terms of demand. Now, what's the time? How long have I been waffling on for? Not long enough yet. But pretty soon I'll get an update. I'll get it 20 minutes past the hour, each hour intraday. And that's more than enough for me. I don't sit there and watch the little blips every day. That's the dumbest thing you can do. I can assure you, if you're doing that right now, watching all the little blips on the other screen right now, yep, that is the dumbest thing you're doing today. Let me assure you. Long story short, let's stay on this one. It looks amazing. What a wonderful candle today. As long as it stays that way, happy to be there. Now, here's the risk. Oh, look, there we go. I don't need to. We've got them here. Look at this, my supply side buddies. So let me copy and paste that one. Right, where did it open? It opened here. Right, so the risk is we go from the current close, which is up here, right? And we go down, 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 down. And what that will create upstairs is a shadow. We've already got shadow there. So let's say it goes down and then it will close. Let's say it closed on the low, it would create a candle like that today. So if the current candle, and here we are, it's 11:25 my time, whatever it is your time. So I know people listening all over, not just Australia now, they're listening in various parts of the world. So let's just use my time, right? Because that's where I am. That's all that matters. Let's say it's 11:16 now, right? That's at 11:16 a.m. We don't know what it's going to be at 4:10 p.m. when we get that final cross. So this is why, when you're looking at candles, Intraday, you really shouldn't trade on them. I don't mind trading. Here's the big question. Like, when do you trade? When do you trade on an intraday candle? And this is probably the most important thing I'm going to tell you today. Okay. Now, what I like to do, there's you've got two options. Option one, and I'll tell you my least favorite option is just enter at open next session, and you can do that manually by tuning in, or you can set what we call like a limit order at a particular price that you're comfortable with. You can use a limit order at the previous day's close, for example. So that could mean that if there's a gap, you won't get it. All right. So this is if you're there. Enter it if you're able, right? Limit order at the previous close, but you might not get it. That's the drawback there. Or you could do what we call an on stop order, right? And you don't have to be too fancy. You can set it, like 1 cent. Depends what a tick is. If it's a stock that's trading below 10 cents, you've got 0.1, don't you? If you're trading above 10 cents below $2, I'm pretty sure it is, you've got 0.5 of a cent. So let's just call them a tick. You could go 2 ticks. 2 ticks. And if you're above $2, 2 ticks equals 2 cents, right? 2 ticks above, I've lost my caps, doesn't matter, previous sessions high, okay? And what this enables you to do, let's say it was this candle here that I pointed out and I said this is here is the perfect buy, right? Buy signal. Let's have a look at what the high of that session is. So let's say you saw this. Well, actually, it could be a little bit more perfect, but it's still bloody good, right? Because it could have closed at the high. So let's see what the high is. The high there, if you're not sure, let me click on the bar, and then it comes up over here. It's 97.25, right? So a couple of ticks here would be 98. Let's call it 98, right? Because we don't actually trade in 0.25 points. That's just where it crossed in the closing price auction. So 97, let's round it down. Let's say 98, right? So you could put an on-stop order in on this day, and then you would see this is the day here where it would execute or not execute, right? So perfect signal buy, let's call that day 1, and let's call this day 2. So I'm talking about day 2 now. Did it trade at 98 cents or better to get you into the trade? Let's have a look. 90, so it wouldn't have triggered on that day. It would have actually taken until, see the high there is 97.5. So it would have taken till this day here, which is day 3, to actually trigger that on-stop order 2 ticks above the previous session's high, okay? So this is if you can't be there, okay? So you've got to work, you've got to do whatever, you've got to do something better with your life. Or you could do the limit order at the previous close, so that would have got you in a little bit earlier, but that's just saying, look, I've seen the signal, I don't have to be fancy with the price. That is option, we've got a lot of letters, a lot of numbers, so let's go option A, and then we've got option B, right? I'm in trouble now, this is option C up here. So option A, is the limit order, and you just got in. You got in on day 2. I've seen the signal. I'm not fussed about what price I get in, but it needs to come down to get you. Option B is sort of covering you a little bit. You won't get a lower price, but at least you'll catch it if it starts to run away from you. Okay, and now we're getting to option 2 on by that nomenclature. That's the right word. Is enter, and this is the way I like to do it. Enter within the 10-min window of the actual signal day. And for Aussie stocks, it's not hard to do, right? For most people, even if you arrange at your work, look, I'm going to take my lunch break here. I know I'll be late for some, not late for me, obviously, here in the West. Or I'm going to take my coffee break or whatever it is. I'm still going to be working. You think I'm working, boss, but I'm actually going to be putting all my orders in for the day. 10 was the actual signal candle. Okay, so you're operating typically sort of 3:50 p.m., aren't you? And getting those trades in. And there are pros and cons for both, and I'm not going to go into those because that sounds like more of a workshop where we are sitting in front of each other and I'm teaching you all this other stuff that I don't normally talk about these sessions, because there's it's like the onion, isn't it? What we do in these sessions is pretty much the onion skin of the stuff that I probably need to teach you. But that is something exciting for all us to maybe do at another time. And I've only talked about 4 stocks today, and we're about 20 minutes in. So I'm going to click check that update, and we're going to see what's going to happen to Leo Lithium. Long story short, happy holder here, no question about it. Hopefully you got on. Hopefully you got on because of me, and I'm making you a little bit of money. Oh, bloody hell. Okay, now we've got problems. What a great case study. I didn't want that to happen, but I'm kind of glad it did, because we've got our update. And since what is it? So 1 o'clock, yeah, so the 12 o'clock candle and the 1 o'clock candle, the report has come through, and lo and behold, I jinxed it, and it actually has occurred, what I drew there. So now we've got problems. Okay, and this is where we go, oh, look, I didn't get the top. I'm going to hold on until I get whatever the high is. This is where people go wrong. They go, oh, the high of the day is 117.5. I should have got the high of the day. I deserve the high on this one. You know what? It'll go back up there and I'll get out when it gets to 117.5. And we know what happens from there. It never trades at 117.5, and you hold on forever trying to get the best price. That's how others do it. It's not how we do it here. We heed the market's signal. We've got some supply coming in. We've got actually quite a bit of supply coming in. Hey, there's plenty of demand as well, right? So there's volume here. The volume tells me there's lots of demand. So volume is buying and selling. For every buyer, there's a seller. What it tells me is there's a technical term, CR. Let's just call a spade here. Crap load of selling in the market, but there's a crap load of buying. Why is there a crap load of buying? It's in all the chat rooms. Everybody loves it. Why is there a crap load of selling? Because the people who know, and they know it's time to get out. And that's what that big volume represents. So you're going to get a bunch of fresh meat in the grinder, stuck in at the high, right? And they're traders, they're day traders. They're going to tip out pretty soon. They probably won't hold on forever. Not all of them. And we've got the market, the proper ones selling up here. So that's starting to be a problem for me, for these little 1/3s down here. The day's not closed. I have to wait and I've given you some information on that. Maybe it's 3:50 p.m. We come back. If the candle looks like that, it's looking a bit dodgy. Okay. Would I let go? I can't say. I can't see the future. I need to see the candle at 3:50 p.m. I won't be there for you. You're going to have to make the decision based upon everything I taught you. But I would say if it's closing at the low of that candle, it's starting to be big and it's starting to be an issue. It's not clear cut because that trend is amazing. Okay. I would say if it starts to engulf the previous day's low though, so if we look at that low there, 103.5, if this is closing down there, absolutely we're looking to manage our exit. Okay. Right now, there's a little lower shadow. You can't say for sure. I've spent long enough on that, but hopefully you picked up a few little points. Because we are at that point where we are looking at Leo Lithium, a lithium company. Let me go through a few other lithium companies for you, because I know they are very popular, and I'll only take a few seconds for each one. That's your Pilbara Minerals, everybody. It's one which I think we did lighten the load through here. You can see some -1/3 in the system. Let me just make that red so it is easier to see. I like the -1/3 to be red, the +1/3. We haven't just covered, we just haven't covered it. But I don't think you can see their remaining 1/3. Okay, and our close down here would be exiting that 1/3. That's where we left it. So at most, you might have 1/3 of your original position on this. And I don't think there's any reason to have any more than that at this stage. Look at all the pink. The pink is the problem and the pink is massive, until we're really putting in, I would say, some really bullish candles and some nice price action in that red zone. I would start to believe that we can actually get through it. Look, I can hold it if you got it because of some of the other stuff that's going on, but I certainly wouldn't be carrying a full position on this. And I think that's enough said. Let us do just a few of the other major ones. Allkem. And this is what I was talking about, showing some strong candles in and around that supply zone. And I think this one is. This one is very much a hold for me. Could I buy it? Probably not in the shadow of that big point of supply up there. But this is an absolute hold for me. And look, you probably would have got out a little bit there, or probably more than a little bit, maybe a couple of thirds in that move, but still holding what you had there. Maybe you could have added some back there, but a happy holder on what you've got on Allkem. Of course, the other one there, Core Lithium. Oh, we've got a big problem here. And what a wonderful way to go through this list of companies which in theory are doing very similar things, and to see how the market is responding to that, okay? Pilbara looks pretty strong. Allkem looks extremely strong. And then we get to Core and we can see what the market loves and what the market doesn't love. And I want to be in stocks that the market loves. And I'm concerned about that. I can't see any reason to own Core Lithium right now. Why? Well, straight up, look at this. I mean, for the people that follow me, have followed me for any length of time, these black candles should stand out to you like something, right? This has serious problems, and I concede it could go up tomorrow and will be taken over by Albemarle or something. But this looks really bad to me. So I could not be owning that. I would be trimming and exiting my positions on Core Lithium. And I know that's blasphemy for so many people. Let's go to Mineral Resources. That's actually, we've been very bearish on this, and I think with good reason. I think it's starting to look half decent. I'm going to say half decent. I'm not going to go any further than that, because I like these candles, and I like the fact we've got a little bit of a upwards sort of price action through here. It hasn't really been confirmed yet, but these for the last 4 out of 5 candles, very, very impressive. I'm going to sort of dial back from my outright sell on Mineral Resources, and I'm going to upgrade this to a hold. I think if you've got it now, you're safe enough to hold it. I don't think I'm a buyer, because I'm a bit concerned about all the supply. There's plenty of supply there, but let's see how it goes at that level. If it continues to print these white candles and make some nice price action, it really will be around there. I'm going to change this into a light green zone. That's where I'm going to look at it, and I'll just come back and review it then. I don't mind giving up $3 if it's going to go to $300. But I don't want to buy it here on the proviso I've got, 4 decent candles, see that supply kick in there, and then have to get out, you get out there if you saw it there, but you might hold on too long and end up holding all the way down to 50, and that's not what we're about. I'll do IGO, which I think looks actually very strong to me. It's wondering, again, we're sort of this sort of plus 1/3 at most, I'd say, on many of these. Happy holder, I think it's certainly in the camp of better performing ones. I might entertain even a buy here, but probably not. Look at this big black candle here and this one here. It does tell me we do have some supply in the market. It is lingering. It is just pesky supply through here. So I think you can hold it. Obviously, you've got your bug out zones through here where, if it gets beneath, say, a 1375, probably you're tossing that last little bit. But I think they're okay. And I think that's the message, isn't it? These lithium stocks are looking okay, but not fantastic. That one, I don't know why I keep putting it up, but it is very popular on the chat rooms and social media. But I have maintained this, ladies and gentlemen. There has not been a reason to own this stock for a hell of a long time, and I still cannot see a reason to own it now. And for all the you faithful, continue to throw stuff at your computer screen, because it's not coming through my little webcam here. The other one, was it... That one looked half decent. I'm just trying to find the ones that look half decent. Today's not a great candle. It's matching the Leo Lithium one, but trade the momentum where it is, and there is some momentum here. Look, keep an eye on it. I don't think today's the right day. And then you've got all your other ones, your WA ones, your Winsome Resources, which you can see we have had buys on this in the past, and maybe some sells too. I think you're probably closing 1/3 here. It says here, isn't it? Closing 1/3. Maybe you started to take some profits on that one, and I can't remember all the other ones out there. So if you've got any, obviously put them through the list. Let me keep going here. We're going to pick up the pace a little. 360. This is one that has been coming up on my shortlist quite regularly. I didn't do a shortlist yesterday, but if I did a shortlist yesterday, I promise you, if you believe me or don't believe me, I don't care. But that's a nice candle, and I certainly would have put that in, maybe even as a feature. But this is the point of supply here. This one's coming from Jackie. And Jackie, it's dealing with it today, and I think that's really constructive. So let me just label this 743 as the POS we need to deal with. And today's candle will be very, very instructive or descriptive as to how the market feels about that point of supply. We saw the Leo Lithium candle. It turned from a beautiful white candle, long lower shadow, into a black candle. This one hasn't changed. We've done however many updates for the day, and it's still hanging in there, and that's important. If it can close at near the highs of the day, Jackie, what we're saying is that supply isn't a problem. We can see that supply is manifesting itself. I love that word. Manifesting itself. The supply is manifesting itself today as that little shadow. See that little shadow? That is the supply manifesting itself. That's our word for the day, ladies and gentlemen, manifesting. The word of the day was crap load, but we're going to go, this is a crap load of manifesting. It's actually not a crap load of manifesting. It's a little bit of manifesting in there. And that's the point. Just a little bit of manifesting means we're not too bad here. We're okay. Hey, if we get this white candle here to close, or if we get the candle to close as a white candle and finish up looking like this, not like that, like this. Let us do that, and let us do this. It'll change. Do that. If it closes like that, how has that supply manifested itself? Well, by the end of the day, it's gone, isn't it? It's all demand side. So if we get that white candle, so we go just if, there we go, plus 1/3. If you don't have it, if you do have it, happy holder, but you can add to it. Even if you don't have it, plus the 1/3 there, it looks very, very good. Why? Because the price action did compress beneath $7. I believe the price action compressing really beneath the point of supply, as it probably should. So I don't mind the compression of the price action there, but some really great candles. We've got the higher pods here. Here's your pods. There's your rising pods in there. There's your pods. And then a string. Watch, ladies and gentlemen, the string. That one, that one, that one, that one, that one. They're very good, okay? It tells me that we're pulling back during the day. Maybe it's a crappy day in the market, but by the end of the day, that demand is coming in, and you don't eliminate the supply all at once. That's the point of it. This is the market working through that supply, working through that supply. And this day here is so important because I think we close even above this little mini point of supply here, and that's your signal. And then today is backing it up. So I think this is very good. Keep an eye on it for a plus 1/3. Let's look at OCL, which is looking half decent. And I will give this this way more respect than the person who likes this stock gave me yesterday. But let me say that it looks half decent. I can see it's trying to turn the corner. Obviously, let's call a spade, and that the long-term trend zone, and Bob, I guess, Bob, you know who and what I'm talking about. If you do know who and what I'm talking about, Bob, then just say, Carl, I got you. I know what you mean. You can see here, we've got a problem here. But it's come back really well in this candle here, this candle here, this candle here, and this candle here, which is actually that candle there. I think, Bob, there's room enough in the sandbox for everybody, Bob. That's what I think. But let us say that even if we do get through that area, Bob, because we can see that the demand is building, right? The demand is building. The supply is starting to give way. But we don't have that definitive confirmation. It's one that's been coming up in my shortlist for a long time. Well, coming up on my scans. I'm not sure if I've shortlisted on Twitter. And if you're not sure where my Twitter shortlist are, I'll show you in a second. Yeah, look, even if we do get through there, I'm not sure if this is going to be the best of the best. But if you're Bob saying true, good, Bob knows what I'm talking about. But Bob, if you got this, if you wanted to buy this on the basis of everything you heard about it, right? You know what I mean? I'm cool with that. Because kind of what you're doing is say, okay, well, I like it for this reason, but I'm at least going to wait for it until the market is showing any sign at all that it's starting to look good. And, you know, you have to decide, and everybody's different. Now, you know, for me, right, I'm 100% technicals and 0% fundamentals, and hooray for me. But Bob, you might say, look, I'm going to go 60 fundamentals, 40 technicals, but I'm not going to discount that 40% technical. And for me, look, I'll get to the point of the story here. Could I buy that? No, I don't think I'm a buyer of this. Could you buy it? If the 60% is important to you, then and the 40% is ticking the box, then that's okay for you. And what I want to do, because I'm very curious now, and I normally wouldn't do this, ladies and gentlemen, because look, it's not one I would buy, so I wouldn't come in here. And I save these fundamental valuations on stocks that I would actually consider buying myself, because I think it just keeps things nice and simple for all of us. But I want to do this because I'm curious now as to whether there's any value in this company. But I'm not going to put my view of value on this company because, you know, honestly, I don't know. I did do the research. And honestly, I know if I did the research, I probably wouldn't do it as good as the 5 broking and research houses that we have here. Refinitiv, Icon, they grab all of the consensus and they give it to us here. It's very good. And then I do some bits and pieces to that. But we can see that we do have 5 brokers covering Objective Corporation. And Bob, what was the one that was this? Is this the one that's doing the satellite technology? Is this one? Is that what this one is? Just remind me. If it's not, oh no, that's EOS. That was the other one that was talked about. I wouldn't mind looking at that actually. Okay, so to making sure that's right. So here we go. 5 brokers. Their price target $14.29. So it's not knocking anybody's socks off there. But what I can see here is the EPS line. Now I don't have a lot of data here. I'm not sure why, and these are not my numbers. So don't kill the messenger. But I do have EPS report. I don't have this line here. That's cool. And some of this isn't even working. Okay, but it looks like we've got bottom left, top right. So the earnings profile actually looks very good, and it's continuing to grow. A bit of a slower move through here. You can see only 4%, but the brokers are predicting substantial. So amazing growth profile. Where you're paying for it a bit, aren't you? You've got a 47.8 dynamic forward PE. So that's this one here, the median of those numbers. We don't really have historical data. It's just not working. So I can't tell you whether that's a good PE based upon the 5-year historical range. And I like to see a low PE versus that range. I don't know enough about the business to tell you whether the risk level should be high, low, or moderate. But I can say if I just use my default settings, this actually looks really cheap based upon my model, because my model loves this. My model loves growth, okay? But through the formulas, it needs to get the growth at a reasonable price, okay? And this is saying the growth is so good that that price is actually still reasonable. You know, I kind of top out around about 40. Target 40. There you go. It'll come back. So maybe that's more appropriate. And just for you, Bob, I'm going to put these on. I'm not going to say which one's the right one, but just if you think there's a bit more risk in it, then maybe that's it. And if you think there's a lot of risk in it, maybe that's it. Okay. But I'm not telling you which one to use. I'm just showing them all for you, Bob. Catch the recording, and this hopefully is helping you. But I can't see any red flags in there, Bob, that would suggest to me that I shouldn't own this stock. On the fundamental side of things, and then maybe for your 40%, Bob, if you started to implement technicals into your own personal way of doing things, it's not that bad either. I can go happy hold for all the reasons I've talked about points of supply. Not sure if I'm a buy yet, but he's looking very warm. Let's go 6 out of 10. I know that was a lot of interest, and I'd love to do one. You know, you've all got your pet stock. I'd love to do that much for each of you, but we've got an hour and 15 minutes to get through, so we're going to keep moving. Okay, EOS was the other one, which I think I've put in my scans, actually, haven't I? I've put on my shortlist. And I've pointed in the past to candle number 13 and candle number 12 and candle 11 and probably 10 that preceded it. And I've said, look, these are key candles and these are really important. And I might have said maybe if it closes on the high, I don't know which day last time you asked me on it, maybe that day there, then you can add some. It didn't close on the high on that day. So I don't think you would have. And this is where that 3:50 p.m. comes into it. You look at it 3:50 p.m. and you go, I don't like the look of that. I think I'm just going to wait till tomorrow. And then tomorrow wasn't the great day either. If you listen to me at 1:38 p.m. Sydney time or wherever you are, and you went out and rushed out and bought it because Carl said, the chart looks great, and he loves candle 13, then you're really disappointed right now, aren't you? And I don't mean that in a nasty way. I'm just saying, hey, if I say wait for a high close, maybe you want to wait for a high close. So it's just this one's just back in the oven. It's not ready yet. And we'll continue to watch it, I think. And you're just waiting now because all the foundations are there. I think you're really just waiting for the next big white candle that closes on the high to jump in on that one. I think that's good. I think that's the one. Is that the space lasers? The space lasers, perhaps. I don't know. You're all shouting at me, and you should shout at me because I'm on the wrong screen. This is Electro-Optic Systems. I think this is the space lasers. Pardon me. And that was the sort of the candle 13, the big bias talked about in the past, candle 12, 11, and 10. And I said that setup looks really good. And I think we looked at it on this day here, and we said, look, wait for it to close on the high. And it didn't close on the high. And then we said, look, it still needs a bit of cooking, and you just need to see the white candle come in. Sorry for not changing the screen. All right, going to pick up the pace a little bit because I wanted to do uranium. I wanted to do all these things I had the greatest intentions of doing. Let's go to Zoomers because I've neglected you. I'm so sorry. Well, William, asking for Xero. Good, let's talk about Xero. I'm going to talk about it tomorrow on the call. William, I'm appearing on the call on AusBiz, and it's one of the stocks. I still think it looks amazing. No reasons to sell it, and it's just a pretty picture, isn't it? And what a great bunch of candles, and what a great contrast to so many of the other charts we've seen today. And I know you can't have a one stock portfolio, can you? And that's why we look at other charts. We don't say, the Xero looks amazing, we're going to put all my money on that. You don't. You put a bit in, then you put a bit in, you put a bit in. I can't remember which day we said if it closes on the high to buy it. Maybe it was this day here, because it's probably similar to the other one. Look, I reckon you'd be in it. I reckon you'd be holding it. And I think for William, maybe his only question is the arrow I've drawn back here, which is your POS. Is this a major POS? I think it's a POS, but not a major. Look, it was on the way. It didn't spend a lot of time there. And the more time you spend, when you think about it, just think about it logically, the more time you spend at a place, the more people have got sucked into it, who then might tip out of supply in the future. I don't think you spent that long there. So I don't think there's going to be a big issue. Just watch the candles from here, will you? The black candles, the upper shadows, they're your enemy. And they need to be substantial to really get me out of this, because I think this is a wonderful, wonderful chart, and no issues holding it. Could I buy it here if I didn't have it? Let me just give it a day or two at the POS. Okay, and today's shaping up really well. Look, let me just say, it looks great. I know it's a bit of a ways away from the life red zone, but no, I can still go plus 1/3 on this one, assuming at 3:50 p.m. you tune back in, right? You know what I mean now, and it's still near the high of the day. I think that's fine. Let us keep moving on. SSM for Daniel, Servicestream. Okay, I reckon I did this one as well, and this is more for my benefit, not your benefit. I'm just trying to remember. There's so many that come up. This is where you find my shortlist. Go to Twitter, look me up, follow me if you want to make money, as I think a famous Terminator said, wasn't it one time? Come with me if you want to live. So these are my shortlists, and I'm pretty sure I did shortlist this one. Servicestream. This was the last one. SSM in there. There it is. SSM. And if you're not sure if I've ever tweeted about something, just go to handle and just go at Carl Capolingua, and you'll get every time. If you go latest, you'll get every time I ever tweeted about a particular company you're in, and whether I shortlisted on that day was shortlisted. And then I've got my feature chart, which are my favorite charts. And they're not always the best ones, as you know, but often they are. So yeah, look, it's ticking all the right boxes for me, Daniel. And what I love about this is all the white candles. White is wonderful, and lots of white through here actually. And it's something that really could catch your eye quite early in the piece. But what is so key here, I think, and you are a legend, Nick. Thank you very much. Well done. Got me early there. Is the fact we've closed above that point of supply and that point of supply. So I think it's wonderful. I'm a happy plus 1/3 on this one. No issues at all. Plus 1/3. I think you could have done it a few days ago as well. It's a bit slow and steady. And the next big pass is probably up here, isn't it? I don't know. But I think that looks good. I think that's definitely one we can add some risk to. And that's all it is. Dipping a toe in the water and seeing how you go. Not being beholden to this idea that this is value. The market doesn't realize it yet. The market has not seen the value that I can see, and stuff the market, I'm going to hold on forever, which is what maybe some people did on this one. Okay? I don't bang the desk, ladies and gentlemen. If I do bang the desk, it is, hey, be careful out there. Okay? Don't go over the top on anything. Buy a little bit of everything at a time. See how it goes. If it goes well, add some risk to it. If it doesn't go well, see how I bang louder on that one? Get the hell out of it. Go find something that is going well. Okay, we are talking about different philosophies here. Bob knows I'm angry. ERD. Look, we've got some white candles. It's half decent. Let's keep moving on. If you had it, hold it. It's not a buy for me. Who asked me about that one, Daniel? Sorry. I've done Lithium for Derek. I've done Xero for Doug. This is great. TUA has been coming up on my scans. Look at all the white candles. Maybe that's a look into the future of SSM. Is that the one we were talking about before? I forget. Happy holder here. No complaints. Could I buy? Actually, I could buy it. I think this is pretty good. Oh, no, actually, look, this last little bit of price action. Look at this. See this last little bit of price action? And that's just put me off a little bit. So there's your peaks and troughs. And then see how this last trough just dipped through there? But this candle here is very, very good. So this big white candle off the green zone, maybe I can forgive it that. And it's just about getting to a point where you go, oh, look, I'll take half a point off for that, but I'll give it an extra point for that. I'll take half a point off for that. And John, I'll get to John's question in a second. And I get to all those half points off and giving it a point here. And I go, this is kind of where I get to on this. And it's objective, I know. No, it's subjective, not objective. It's subjective, but what's the harm in it? 7.5 out of 10. It's really warm. I get to the end of my list today doing my analysis, and I had lots of 7.5 out of 10s, but I had 4 9 out of 10s. I'm going to go with those today. Look, I think it's very warm. Happy holder if you've got it. If you don't have it, there are a couple of little things that might take those half points off, like that point of supply, not too far away there. A little bit of a round number, not too fussed about $2 on this one, but it is a very, very solid hold, okay? Is that going to be the one we're going to buy today? I think we'll wait to the end, like a few of these, and see if it's the best thing. King saying, do tour for me. Do these guys make the ching ching? Not bad. Not bad. I don't know if it's 2 chings, maybe just 1 ching. Let us go to BGP, which is BGP here. That can't be right. Maybe you meant BGA, Terry. Okay, maybe Bega. And I'm going to actually, Bega's on the list tomorrow as well. I'm going to spend very little amount of time because I'm not sure if this is the one you meant, Terry. And also, the chart is not good. So, the company might be great, but the chart's not good. So I'm a no on that one. That's my personal opinion. CBA, you lot are pinging all of my stocks for tomorrow on the call. Xero, Bega, CBA. And what I'm going to say about CBA, because I've actually done the research and made my notes for this, is I'm a happy holder here. I've been quite bearish on it in recent past, a bit like Mineral Resources, but the candles here, I think, are telling me that there's no reason to be bearish on it before. Could I buy it? You know what? There's so many white candles in a row. I'm actually gonna, and we're above this. And I know I would typically like to see this, and maybe you can wait for that, but I actually think these are so many white candles in a row. The fund managers, who are starting to maybe perceive, with the US market starting to go up a bit, maybe some of the local fund managers are going, I think we're going to be up this year, and they're putting some money back at work, and they're looking for stuff that might have gone down a bit, but they're looking for big stuff and liquid stuff, and I think it's getting a little bit of love. And the best way to get the index going for these fund managers, because that is their performance, isn't it, is to buy the bigger ones and get them going. And if you can't buy CSL for whatever reason, maybe you're going to buy this. Dare I write the plus 1/3 on that? Now I'm going to refrain from the plus 1/3, but I'm going to say a happy holder here. If you're looking, I don't know, it doesn't even have the best yield out of the banks. Let's do the banks. Okay, ANZ. I'm going to go ditto on that one. I could hold it, but I'm not a buyer. That one does have a better yield. Okay, let me show you some stuff here. Oh, I won't be able to do it, unfortunately, because I don't have it set up in OBS, but I was going to show you my ready reckoner for the banks. I'll post it on Twitter. Okay, I'll post it on Twitter. So it gives you all the banking PEs, all of their current dividend, or actually, sorry, their 1 year forward dividend yields, 1 year forward PEs, and my price target and the broker consensus price target. Okay, so I'll post that on Twitter for you, but that's what I was trying to show you. But for anybody who knows how to use OBS, which is what I'm broadcasting to you on, it's the software, you need to set them up in advance if you want to show them, and I haven't done that, okay? So let's look at the charts then. Okay, so ANZ, happy holder now, because these white candles coming in, but watch for, if it closes, you know where they've started to go up in each case? If they close beneath that low, such an important low, then you're back to lightening the load. Or if you saw a bunch of black candles and upper shadows sort of coming in at any of their next points of supply, you could probably lighten the load there. That's NAB. It looks horrific, don't get me wrong, but you can probably hold on to it on the basis that these white candles are very prominent here. And let's do Westpac and then we'll keep moving. Once again, not bad. For me, would I buy them? No, but hey, I don't know what you're going to do with your super fund, or if you're looking to allocate some capital to the banks for whatever reason, that's just what you do, right? That's what makes you tick. That's fine. Let's do AGL, which has been going gangbusters for us, Hanelli. I wonder, Hanelli, if you... look at this. This is how I do stuff. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. This just summarizes me in a nutshell. And compares me, Bob, to the other person. Because look at that. This thing had gone up so much on that day, and I reckon we covered it here. And look at that. Look what I write on the screen. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what defines me. It's gone up so much. And for most people, oh, no, it's gone up too much. Oh, the value, it's not value. And I just go, you know what? People want to own this. So I want to own it. Plus 1/3. Look, next 2 days we're down, but then pop. Up she goes again. This is not a problem here, Hanelli. I think there's still a good chunk of white candle there. So that's not an exit signal for me, and nor is this. That's amazing. That's buy it. I continue to buy it sort of thing, and so is today. But today's not close. Look at it, 350. This is a monster. And, the hardest thing, everybody thinks the hardest thing about making money in the markets is figuring out what to buy. That's rubbish. The hardest thing about making money in the markets is when you do get something that's going up, to hold that thing onto the bitter end, okay, and milk the most out of that opportunity. That's the hardest thing about investing, not buying something at a cheap price. But hey, horses for courses, right? So Hanelli, I think I've answered that. The candles say nothing to me but hold. Hey, will the candles change tomorrow? Possibly, or the next day, or the next day. I guarantee they will change eventually, but they're fine for now. Okay, are you still buying? Look, I don't mind buying at Hanelli, but understand it's a light year away from the light green zone. Okay, so if you're not in it, you do have to get in. This is where my model does say, if I'm not in it, that's I know it's a little bit subjective, but it's mainly objective. My dark green zone. I don't make the dark green zone; it makes itself. But it's up to me to say, look, I'm a long way away from that. And the further away I get from the zone, you can see the past. There's that possibility of a mean reversion. Okay, so we do want to get them with all the candles, all the price action I tell you about, but closer to the zone. Terry made me look at Bega when he wanted to know about BHP. Well, thanks for nothing, Terry. But I think BHP looks good. I think I even put it on my shortlist a few days ago. Go double check. In that it's a bit like CBA. It was looking horrific, right? And this is how quickly the market can turn around. But look at the price action here, very good. This gap, I think we're pretty sure it's this day here, Terry, if I'm not mistaken. I put it into my shortlist because of the huge gap up. You know, I love my gaps. And then the gap plus that strong candle close, even though we've got the positives, is so attractive for me. And today's candle is a monster. And like I said, if the fund managers want to get this Aussie market finally moving, they have to do it through your heavyweights. And they don't mind buying that stuff because they think it's liquid. And if they need to get out in a hurry, they can. Let's keep moving to another iron ore company, which is Fenix Resources. A little bit ho-hum for me. I'm a pass on this one, Matt. Are you French NZ, Matt? Maybe you are, or maybe it's a coincidence. I think it's okay. But yeah, look, I mean, it's sketchy. You can see the candles are very sketchy. There's not a lot of volume. It's just not one I personally would own because I think this for me is a picture of frustration and misery. Okay, and we all have those companies, or we've owned those companies that just give us frustration and just give us misery. And when the candles go all sketchy like that, it means frustration and misery. And I can't tell you what you like. Maybe you like frustration and misery, right? That's up to you, but not me. I'm in stocks for a good time, not a long time. And this is a good time, actually. This is starting to be a good time. And I think if you had it, I think you are starting to light the load. I think this is a pretty significant POS here. This is an MPOS, right? No doubt about it. And I think we're close enough. And I think there's a couple of little shadows here where our favorite word today is not crap load, but it's manifesting, okay? Supply is manifesting itself. Supply is manifesting itself through those upper shadows. If we're close here, I'd probably just go just minus 1/3, just taking a little bit off the table, but 100%, 1,000% retaining plus 2/3 here to see, because probably I reckon what's going to happen is we spend a little bit of time bobbing around and that plus 1/3 was unwarranted and we go up. But if we don't do that and we go bang, bang, then we're going to get another third, and we'll be glad we got out the minus 1/3 up here, just taking a little bit off the table. So never all in, never all out, stepping in and stepping out of our trades because we don't know what's going to happen next. I am not so arrogant to say that I know what's going to happen next because I did my research. Man, I don't care how much you worship at the altar of a particular billionaire, right, who had all the opportunities and all the inheritances and all the money that you will never have, right, and the access to the markets and companies that you will never have. I don't care how much you worship at that altar. It is unproductive, let me say. Just use that word, unproductive, to think you know better than the market. The market will teach you your lesson quickly and repeatedly. I don't mind Weebit, Warren. Again, I've tweeted that. Look, there is some POS, and if you go into Weebit, you go into the eyes wide open. This is not your blue chip value company. This is a bit of fun, okay? And there's nothing wrong with having a bit of fun. I'm sure your mum or your dad sat you down and said, hey, Cindy, hey, Bobby, have a little bit of fun in life. And that's all Weebit is. I could go hold. Today's upper shadow there looks like a little bit of manifestation, doesn't it, Warren? So keep an eye on that one. The black candles and the upper shadows are the ones you need to worry about. But happy holder in the meantime, watching that point of supply. MSB, I told you not to, ladies and gentlemen, I've told you repeatedly, do not put in Mesoblast. It is not a real company, okay? I'm not going to analyze Mesoblast for you. Looks half decent here, okay? Too much emotional baggage, ladies and gentlemen. Stop asking about that one. I also said stop asking about CSL, okay? Don't ask me about CSL. I said, in fact, quite prophetically, I said, don't ask me about CSL until it closes above 315. And now you know why. Can I look from Nicola? Can I look at ASB? I can look at ASB. Yeah. Geez. Okay. So I would have said that this candle here is the most wonderful, beautiful picture of demand. A little bit of supply here though, and it seems to be manifesting itself on the last two candles. I don't think all is lost, Nicola. I think it's fine. I don't want to see this get worse, and I certainly don't want to see the market start to do stuff like that, because that annoys me. When I've got a bit of a POS there and a bit of a POS there, it's showing me I'm losing that upside momentum, and when I break beneath the little pod, I probably want to get a few out. Until then, I'm a happy holder, and we understand, look, this is what mean reversion is about. You know, you can get it. And to be fair, this supply is coming in, isn't it? It's coming in at an area, Nicola, where we should expect supply. Like, you shouldn't tune into this and go, there's two black candles here, and go, oh, what happened there? Why did that happen? You know, it's pretty obvious that that is where we're going to find some supply. But it's not overwhelming. And it's not overwhelming the demand side showing we had here. And you know, that's a little important phrase. We are looking, we're always looking for this demand side showing, is that the right word? Display, because that's what that is. Look at the gap and run. And I love that candle. Let me call that candle 1 over here, because this is, I think, the key candle. So I think we're okay, but just, you know, it's okay as you think you are, you don't know what's going to happen next. Let's just manage that one as we go through. ALL, this is one we said, I think we said to add 1/3 last week if it closed on the high. Look, I'm not sure if it did. I think it was this day here. But certainly this day here is the one. So that's a plus 1/3. Happy with that. And if it closes, again, you reiterate, if it closes on the high. So what I'll do is I'll just go copy paste, close very close to the high, but it's discretionary. That's up to you whether you took it last week. I don't know, but I think we're looking again like adding a third. Again, how the methodology works is, you know, as it does the right thing, adding and adding on that one. So happy with that one for you, Nicola. And the last one is MAF, which is another turnaround play. I think it's okay. It's one of those, we've seen so many of them that have really been beaten down for the market, probably for good reason. And they're starting to come back, but they're not that clear sort of, you know, lithium sort of run, are they? They're doing it a bit tough, but I can hold on to that one. Do these last three candles worry me a little bit? They are coming in at a logical area. I'm more concerned now about how it continues to perform around here. And this is the demand zone. And I want to see demand at that zone. We've talked about supply side, how supply is manifesting. So it's really manifesting, isn't it? It's really how demand or supply is manifesting itself in the market. You know, and I look at something like that and I say that is demand manifesting itself in the market, right? I can go hold on that one. I won't be a buy for obvious reasons. From Haraju, MEI is one I've tweeted about a lot. I think we've got some problems here. And the problem, Haraju, is that we have come back and closed beneath the point of demand here. So we didn't get that textbook signal that we like to have, unfortunately, where we come back and we do this little thing. And it's wonderful when we get them because we get lots of early warning, but sometimes we don't. And then you're sort of bug out. If you don't get that, is your other pod. I mean, it's consistent messaging here. So close beneath that, by default, I have to go minus 1/3 and then just see how we go. And we've got a little bit of a higher low in terms of the days. So here, let me just label them for you. So there's your H. So if you go H and we go L, and we go H, there's H minus 1, and then L minus 1. What we can see is that H is greater than H minus 1, L is greater than L minus 1, which therefore sets the lowest point of these two candles as the low. They're both 19, and that therefore becomes your pod. And we are saying if we close beneath, close less than 0.19 equals the minus the next third. And you can see how we're stepping out of this. Probably, you see this lower shadow, black candle close, you probably had reason to do minus 1/3 before this. And I suspect really if you're closing beneath this pod, that you're probably all out of this one. And hey, it was a meteoric rise, wasn't it? And you gave it a good go. No, you wouldn't have got 28 cents at the top, but if you did get in, I mean, look at this, gap up, run, here's your candle here. I'm just hypothetically speaking, here or here, you know, at 6 cents, getting out at 20, or really 24, 23, 20 is still a pretty good run. I don't think we're getting into that one now, Haraju. I think we're trying to get out of it. Okay, so we're not looking at this pullback as an opportunity to buy. Okay, Helen asking for IPG. How am I going for time? Horrific as usual. Stairway to heaven. Okay, last week I guess we looked at it. We said plus 1/3. Happy holder. Last week it looks like I said 100% buy and 0% sell. Ditto. No reasons to do anything but continue to hold it. Hey, it's a live candle. Let's see how that one goes. But it looks wonderful, Helen. Now, if you didn't get in last week, can you get in here? I don't mind it. It still looks amazing. Just understand we're a bit of a ways away from the light green zone. Okay. TLG, let's have a look at that one. No, it's a no for me. I know the price action is starting to pick up, but it's still gravitating beneath this, so that's a no. Big pass on that one. Andrew, Rio Tinto. I need to buy some stuff. I need to sell some stuff. What should I sell? Is Rio more of a sell than BHP? I don't think either of them are a sell, to be honest. But I think BHP looks the stronger of the two with today's candle. By far, actually. By far and away, I think BHP's the better of those two charts. For Perry, let's go BKW, which is still looking very good. No complaints. You can see we've had some history here. Shows how the model works. Plus 1/3, plus 1/3, plus 1/3, plus 1/3. I think we're happy here holding. If you don't have it, look, don't mind buying it. We're all blue. It's all blue sky from here. You know, I can't see any reason not to have some skin in the game on this company if you don't have it right now. Today's candle's fine. I think it might be making a little bit of a retracement back up, but today's candle's fine. I mean, it just depends on how pedantic you want to be about these things and how much you care about losing, isn't it? And that's really all it comes down to. I'm going to go plus 1/3 on that one today as well. The trend is so strong. It is a little bit of a ways away from the light green zone though. CTM, I need to get to the YouTubers in a second. Centaurus. Look, I'm seeing some nice things with the gap and the two white candles, but I think we've still got some issues here. And I don't think the leopard is... that's not fair. I was going to say that I don't think the leopard has completely changed spots because the leopard was pretty awful, right? I mean, when you see so many... Look, in fact, you know what? I don't trust this one. I don't trust it at all. Too many black candles forever. Speaks to me of insider selling no matter what. Somebody who got in at a very low price and they don't care what it is. They just want to get the hell out. So I'm going to go pass. Big pass on that one. Don't like all the black candles. That's not subjective. That's objective. I don't like all those black candles. I get this. Something's happening here, but this really needs to prove it to me. So I'm not going to just jump in on a couple of decent candles there. I'm going to go to the streamers over here because I've neglected you a little bit. Let's go to GDC. I think I'm a happy holder here. I don't see any reason. Maybe we looked at it last week. We said plus 1/3. So happy to continue to maintain that. There are a couple of candles that aren't ideal there, let me tell you. But I still think we're holding above where the demand side showing how demand manifested itself through here. And I would suggest, as long as we're really above, well, there, I drew the stop loss, didn't I? As long as we're above there, I think we're fine. But watch out for the lower points of demand. I think this is all still one consistent move down. But if you do start to see this, then you just say, well, look, it hasn't worked out. And I'm just going to say, hypothetically speaking, at that plus 1/3, you bought 30 shares, all right? You know why I'm using 30. If you saw a signal you didn't like, then you go minus 10 shares, right? And then if you saw the next signal, you minus 10 shares, and then your final minus 10 shares might be down here, okay? So we have an initial idea of where our stop loss is, because it might just go there the next day. And we still need a bug out place. We need a place where the system is going to take us out so we don't leave it to ourselves to take that loss, right? I think that's very important. But then we manage the trade as we go. So hopefully we see the signals way before we get to our stop loss so that we're not completely in it. And the reason I say, well, why don't you just get out in the first sign, Carl? Was I don't know what's going to happen next. The trend is so great. You can get those big gaps. And, the news tends to break in the direction of the trend. Have you noticed that? Maybe not on CSL. Let us go to DLI, which I've done actually. I've done that. And AZS, I definitely want to do. This is the other big lithium play that I have tweeted the hell out of and put it as my feature chart so many times. We're looking for our final third exit. I think you got it today. Who's this one for? Michael. Today's the day. there you go. Look, assuming it closes on the low. In fact, yeah. No, okay. Let me just let me write it, because it could come back. It could come back today. I don't think it will come back today. But if close low, minus 1/3. But today's the day, and I think you're out. Okay. All out on that one. And most importantly, look, I mean, you might be, I mean, you sold 1/3 here, but you didn't sell it all, and you got a bit more of a better price on it. I think that's fine. KR, I've got to choose because I'm running out of time, but I'll do KR super quick because it's a no. And then I have to wait 20 seconds because in the YouTube, you have to do your timestamps 20-second lots. So let me just wait 20 seconds so I can say that I did Karoon Energy today. And I'm not going to say any more words because I think you know why I don't like it. And if you're watching this on YouTube, rewind to the start and watch it from the start, and then you'll know why I don't like Karoon. But I do want to go here today. I do want to talk about this one. Oh, okay. Honestly, I didn't see the close yesterday. I had some other stuff I had to do. And not kidding, I appeared on the Arabic Bloomberg yesterday. So I didn't catch the close. I had to do that, prep for that and deliver that, talking through a translator. But this was the day on AusBiz I said to buy it. And look, I think we're getting enough of a follow through to hang in there with it. I said it was super specky, right? Because of, hello. But yeah, I think hang in there on this one. Should you buy it now? Look, I think just wait for the next candle. The next candle is that manifestation of demand. Where is that going to be? I don't know, but I think just wait for the next one. I think you've got that luxury now of just waiting. If you didn't get in, hang in there. If you didn't get in, I think it's going to be somewhere in here. This is where I think it's going to be, because I do think that this old point of supply, or this area of supply here, so this supply zone, let's call it, I think will act as demand going forward. So watch it in there. But that's one I definitely wanted to cover today. Simon asking for SIQ, another stock that's done really well. Sorry, I missed that one. Try again. There we go. Not a friendly candle. Not a friendly candle at all. Didn't quite take out the previous day's low. I think that's important. So I'm just trying to tell you what I honestly, somewhat subjectively, but mostly objectively would think. Okay. It is not a black box. It's not an algorithm. Okay, you do have to apply it yourself. And I didn't see this one yesterday, but I think looking at that, my heart of hearts, for me, it's not an exit yet. Today would become the crucial day. Okay, if we saw a follow through from the manifestation of supply yesterday, why did it manifest there? Let's zoom back and let's see if there's a reason why that's the level. And I reckon that this area here, and see the bottom of that shadow, and to the top of that shadow. And I'll come back and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. So I'm looking at, so it's important for you to know how to draw these boxes, right? So the bottom of that shadow, the top of that shadow, I believe is the supply zone. And this may well just be the manifestation of that supply finally in that zone. We get to the top half of it. But today, I think we're fine. So as long as we close with that white candle today, it's just a bit of profit taking, nothing to worry about. Yes, we can get reversion back to the mean, but I don't think it's any reason necessary to panic out of this one. So happy holder here, no reason to do anything on that, in my opinion. Let us go to workshop with me would be amazing, says Hazel. Hit up if your clients and you're spending money with Think Markets, who pays my bills, then we can do stuff like that. But we don't have enough people signing on, so we would always love more people signing on. So I know a lot of people listen to this and trade with other brokers. That's your business. I do this as a service, but obviously we do this to get more accounts. So we want you to open accounts with Think Markets, okay? And for account holders, there are things we can do. But let's see a bit more of a push in that regard. And Macquarie, happy holder there. It's one I have been bearish on, but I think falling into the basket of those big banks, BHP, Rio, if you want to get the index moving, you're going to have to do it through here. Happy holder, would I buy it? You can see within the bands within it's operating, and that supply zone up there is maybe an issue, but I'm not averse to buying it. I just don't think it's going to be the best one we're going to see today. But looking, very much half decent there, Jackie. Go Carl, says Leonardo. Maybe I was on a bit of a rant there. Maybe that's what that was about. ECS. It's a no for me. I think there's, the sketchiness. We've talked about the sketchiness. We've talked about the trends. And I get it. Elijah, this might be the first time you're listening to me because I haven't seen your name pop up before. And you might, I reckon if we sat down over a cup of coffee and a milk arrowroot biscuit, Elijah, you'd tell me all the great things about this company. And I promise you, I'd probably say, look, mate, just hold that thought. I'm just going to go off to the bathroom, and I probably wouldn't come back. Okay. Because I don't care. All I need to know is what the chart tells me, and that tells me I'm not interested in that one. Neil's saying I'm toast. I don't know what you toasted on there, Neil. Hopefully nothing I gave you. Let's look at Woodside. Looks interesting, and I think it does look interesting here, doesn't it? Yeah, and again, I think it's falling to that bus. We're seeing a bit of a pattern here in the big ones, ladies and gentlemen. I think the fund managers, maybe it's a June 30 thing. Maybe it's a manage the index up to get my bonus thing. Does that mean you should go with it or you shouldn't go with it? Do you get what I mean by that? Like, let's get the index up because it's bonus time. Like June 30 is, I won't get my bonus on June 30, but it'll be determined at June 30, my bonus if I'm a fund manager. Okay, so I've got all this cash. I know I'm sitting on a lot of cash. We know there's lots of cash out there. Do I invest it on the basis that I think that's the best thing to do for my investors and my superannuation fund holders? Or do I just throw that money in to get my bonus because I need a new 911? And I wonder what they'll do. I'm sure they're going to think long and hard about it. And I reckon they're going to put the money in. Happy to hold it. Could I buy it? Look at all the peak stuff on the screen there. Maybe not one for me. I was also saying Mesoblast is not a real company. Or that's gold, perhaps. I don't know what they're doing right now. But they've done so many different things over the years. That's why I say that. Happy holder, no issues. Why would you sell that, Tim? Looks amazing. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Could I buy it? Look, I'm not averse to buying it up there at all. Not at all for me. Liontown, I haven't looked at it. Big black candles there. This is a problem for me. I would go today's follow through of yesterday's selling. We've talked about this idea of, well, one candle certainly gets my attention. Oh, okay. Look, I've taken a bit of a knock. The trend's taken a bit of a knock to the jaw. You got my attention, all right? I'm looking for that knockout blow the next day. I reckon I'm going to go minus 1/3 on that one, simply because we are seeing a bit of a follow through today, but wait till the end of trading today to confirm that we are closing near the lows. I've done all of you YouTubers, don't type any more in because I'm not going to look at them. I have done all of the Zoomers as well. I think you know where I'm going with this. GMG and SMN will be the last two. Don't type any more. SMN. It looks half decent. I don't think I'm a buyer yet. I think you know why. I think we are building a pretty serious area of supply in here that we need to deal with. Look, there is plenty of demand in the system. I can tell that. So it's something that's warm. It's alive. It's something I could look at. If it starts to put in the right price actions sort of through here with the right candles, maybe I'll look at it then. But I don't think I need to do a whole lot more on that right now. But if you've got it, I can see a clear path to holding that one. Michael, GMG, oh gosh, try it again. GMG. This looks really good, actually. And it's a company I know well, and I do like. I've covered it many times on the call, so I've done plenty of research on this over the years. There's a bit of a point of supply there. I'm not going to let that bother me for a bit of a longer-term portfolio. I'm going to go a happy plus 1/3 here. I don't even care about what the close is going to do. I'm just going to go 1/3 on that one. For a bit of a turnaround play, I'm going to add the risk, and then I tell you what, if it closes up here, I'll go plus 1/3, and then if it does another few good candles in there, there'll be more plus 1/3. But I think you're starting to build a position on this, not because these are anywhere remotely the same company, but they're a similar chart, if you get where I'm going. James Hardie, Xero, that for me, ladies and gentlemen, I couldn't care less what they do. All I care about is how the demand and supply is manifesting themselves on the chart. And I like the look of GMG for a turnaround play because it's doing all that stuff I like to see. I have to need to do Santos. Paul asked me about Santos. Santos, don't ask me about, Paul, don't ask me about Santos. It's like Mesoblast. It's not even a real company, Paul. You think it's not a real company. Stop asking me about Santos, okay? I think it's okay, Paul. I think you can hang on to it. I'm not a buyer. Reason number one, I'm not a buyer. It's Santos. Reason number two, that big point of supply up there. But good luck to you on your future suffering, Paul. Good luck to you on that one. All the best. FG. Oh. Is it ready yet? Look, we've been burnt a few times on these, haven't we? Going into these too early. I still think it's too early. But watch this space. Watch this space. Hey, the good news is, if you've got it, I'm going to hold it now. I mean, for so long, you know I've been a not hold it, I've been a sell it. But actually, I'm going to go hold it. I'm a strong hold on that, Brett, but I'm not a buy yet. Let us head back here and say, look, if you want to come and hang out with me, with a couple of my very, very good trading buddies, Kel Butcher, Jason McIntosh in Melbourne. Hey, if you're not in Melbourne, get yourself to Melbourne on the 22nd of July. We don't have the landing page yet, so hit up Nick Coulson at thinkmarkets.com to register your interest for that. Spots are filling. We've got 50 spots, and Nick, I think we're up to about 16 at last look, and we haven't even started advertising. So we will do the usual advertising stuff, and they will fill quick, so make sure you're in the room. You can do this edition here on Tuesdays. You can do the macro edition. You make sure you register for the macro, ladies and gentlemen, or catch it in the replay. That's where the big picture stuff occurs. And then on Fridays, the USA. If you think we found some good charts today, well, we didn't. The best charts are in the US. That's where you want to be. If you're not a client of Think Markets, you should be, for obvious reasons. I've talked about that. So I'll continue to move. We have all the best products and the best customer service, no doubt about it. Head to www.thinkmarkets.com/au for further details. If you're following me on any of the streaming services, make sure you hit the thumbs up button to let me know you like what I'm doing, so I continue to do more of it, and hit the subscribe button to stay notified of any of my future updates. Apart from that, it has been a pleasure chatting with you today. Hopefully you had fun. That's the most important thing. I had lots of fun today. All the best for your trading and investing. Until we catch up again, bye-bye for now. Don't forget, everybody, that everything we've discussed today is general in nature. It has not taken into account any personal financial circumstances or particular needs. So before acting upon that advice, general advice as it is, seek the help of a financial professional before you implement it. The rest of the information in that disclaimer is important. You should read it. And if you have any other further questions about Think Markets or its products, head to our website and download a product disclosure guide.